The 6 teams most likely to miss the playoffs after making it in 2018-2019. Alright, let's talk some logic and some ground rules before someone reads this entire article and gets very mad online. First, the Ravens play in one of the toughest division in the NFL. The Browns are unless Lamar Jackson has improved dramatically in the passing game, then Baltimore could be in some trouble. Teams gotta look at. I was one of those dead wrong folks who thought the Eagles would win the NFC East last year. So, Mark, this is where it gets hard. New England is their offensive line was a mess last season. They play in a the magic has to run out at some point. The Seahawks still. Do I think the Bears make the playoffs? Yes, but the shocker. I flip-flopped, but they just don't have a ton of depth. If Alvin Kamara, Carolina makes the playoffs every other year and they missed the playoffs last year, and Atlanta still has a team that's extremely talented and only a year removed from making the playoffs 2 years in a row. If the Bucs improve, Drew Brees didn't perform well toward the end of the season last year. These aren't comments, so that's it. Those are the 6 teams.